I would say there is when we stick with the basic definitions like economic growth, increasing production and consumption of goods and services, which entails increasing population and per capita production and consumption. And economic growth is generally indicated by increasing GDP. And the environment, say environmental protection, economic growth and environmental protection. Well, what is environmental protection? Most of us would think of that in terms of clean air, clean water, relatively wild lands still existing somewhere, and wildlife, at least reasonable populations of wildlife, levels of biodiversity. And these things are not, they don't go hand in hand. In fact, part of my research, going back to my PhD research on the Endangered Species Act and causes of species endangerment, showed how the causes of species endangerment are like a who's who of the American economy. So, there's empirical evidence at least suggesting right away a trade-off between economic growth and wildlife conservation. And when you start looking at the nuances of that, there's only a few things that could possibly counter it. There's really only one thing that would argue against there being a conflict between economic growth and wildlife conservation, and it's technological progress in a real general sense. Inventions and innovation that lead to increasing productive efficiency or more output per unit input. And historically, there's a lot of technology that has been developed that has increased output per unit input, but that technology has never come free. That's the thing that gets lost from studying the relationships among technological progress and economic growth and biodiversity conservation. The technology itself didn't just rain down like manna from heaven, as Robert Solow at one time referred to technology, and he knew better than that too. But in the basic model of economic growth, that's how it was treated, because there wasn't a very sophisticated understanding of how technology itself was developed. Well, now after several decades, there's a great deal of literature on the origins of technology itself, and it's a function of economic growth basically at current levels of technology. So there's sort of a chicken-egg spiral of economic growth at current levels of technology and technological progress. But then what that means in terms of economic growth in the environment, let's say in terms of wildlife conservation, all the time you're reallocating natural capital, the woods and waters and soils and fisheries and minerals and so forth, from the old economy of nature on over to the human economy. At any given level of technology, more production is equivalent to more reallocation of natural capital. Now, yes, at times you can develop technologies that are more efficient, but again, you had to develop those technologies as a matter of research and development programs, which originated from profits based upon current levels of technology. So there's that chicken-egg spiral of economic growth and technological progress. And maybe one more thing about this, the biodiversity thing. Biodiversity is like a canary in the coal mine. When you think about environmental protection, you can view biodiversity as a good solid indicator of the state of the rest of the environment or ecological integrity.